Hey guys, back with you. DJ Do, here again. Just continuing my conversation regarding Pioneer and Alpha Theta. Are they done? Is it over? That the XDJ-AZ got released. By the way, why are people calling it the AZD or AZ or I'm not sure. Is that the proper way to say it? I'm not sure. Um, I don't know, everyone's saying the Z and the AZ and I don't get it. To me, it's just spelled AZ. I don't know. I don't get where they're getting, maybe just as maybe, XDJ as. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I was just like, that's kind of wild. But anyhow, well, my thoughts are that Alpha Theta as a company has really been the game leader for a long time, and they have made some incredible equipment over the years. I still use some to this day. They're still the industry leader as far as, like, if you go to big festivals, if you go to big nightclubs, that's just the industry standard. Now, are they the industry standard because they were there first, or are they the industry standard because they're innovators? Here's the scoop. The XDJ-AZ got released, and the opinions have been mixed. It seems like that we have plateaued as far as, like, what things can do nowadays, or what controllers can do. And it's not really a controller, it's an all around system. A controller controls DJ software, and as another YouTuber said it very eloquently, and it's true, it controls DJ software, but this controls DJ software too. But in order to unlock the full potential of this XDJ-AZ, then you need to use software. It's the bottom line, because you need to use Serato or, Record Box or, DJ, whenever that gets released, whenever they do an update for it. But you have to, because you don't have onboard stems on this unit. There's no onboard stems like they have on some in-music gear, some Denon gear. And as far as streaming, as far as, like, being a mobile professional, streaming is huge. To be able to take requests on the fly, some weird requests, it's huge to have. And for them only to have Beatport as their only streaming source on the new XDJ-AZ is a complete failure. It's a complete failure. And I was thinking about, why is that? Now, mind you, they may upgrade it in time, but I feel like, don't release anything until the thing's ready to go. Don't release anything, especially a $3,200 unit. What are you thinking, to be quite frank with you? What are you thinking? I know that, I was kind of schooled on what the 32, bit converters, the AC converters, or what they can do, and what the gains and stuff like that. At the end of the day, does anybody really care? I mean, is it really going to sound different to you in the human ear? Does it make it different what kind of converters are inside it? And I know there's about dynamic range and stuff like that. I was very eloquently, told how that works and everything. And it's 100% right. And they were completely right about it. But streaming, I think, is more important than telling someone about what kind of converters are inside of it. It should sound good. For $3,200, you better have dynamic range, and it should sound good. Mixers and controllers and standalone units have been sounding good for years. I have never heard anybody say, I wish I had more dynamic range. I wish it had more dynamic range. At certain levels, at certain peaks, I wish. No, I've never heard that. Never once in my career. Never. But not having stems, or everybody's using stem control right now. And for not to have onboard stem control is a complete failure. Complete failure. Also, not only being able to stream Beatport is ridiculous. And I thought about, why is that? Why is that? And I'm going to say something, and this may come off a little controversial, and it's not meant to be racist or anything like that, by far. If anybody knows, I'm half Catholic and half, my mom is Catholic, my dad is Jewish, my mom is Puerto Rican, and my dad is French, And, I'm living in Arizona, but I'm from New York City. So I've been culturally diverse my whole life. But when it comes to Beatport being the only streaming source on this, I just thought that was just a big fail. Because, first of all, here's the scoop. This is why I think this is crazy right now. This is friggin' insane, but I think that it's a cultural thing. Why Beatport? If you think about the platform Beatport, think about the platform. And I said in another video that, they're kind of more towards hip hop and stuff like that. Well, I was wrong, completely wrong. They're more towards EDM, house music, electronic music. So look about where Pioneer is based out of, the headquarters. Look about who's designing Pioneer equipment. It's the Japanese, right? They're based out of Japan. That's where the headquarters are. Do you know where the headquarters are for Denon DJ? Rhode Island, America. Okay? They're based out of America. And like I said, I think it's a cultural thing, because if you think about what kind of music do they listen to mostly in the Far East? What kind of music? They're listening to a lot of EDM, a lot of dance music. That's kind of what they're into. That's their scene out there. If you look at any videos, any boiler room videos from the Far East, all that kind of stuff, they're not open format DJs. They're literally just playing straight ass house music, straight ass EDM music, or straight ass, trance and techno. And I think that's where maybe this comes from. And I may be wrong. Denon DJ, being an American company understands that we need all kinds of streaming in the United States. We need to be able to be multi-formatted DJs. We need to be able to play not only EDM music, but we need to be able to play hip hop. We need to be able to play country music, rock music, whatever. I'm an open format DJ, and I do a lot of country gigs too. So I do 50-50. I need Tidal. I need Apple Music. I need Beat Source. I need a way for me to be able to stream music, And I know these units, these $3,200 XDJ-AZ, why would you buy that thing for $3,200? What is that really giving you more than their $600 controller, their $300 controller? You're not getting anything. You're not getting stem control. You're not getting all the streaming services. So in order to unlock all the streaming services on the XDJ-AZ, you need to use a computer. So you're back to using a controller. It's a controller all over again. Mind you, the screens are cool, has some cool features. You have a redundancy, the fact that you can, if you're using a software, if you're using Serato or Rekordbox, or DJ or whatever you're using, you could go and use a thumb drive. But at the end of the day, to unlock the whole thing, you got to use a computer if you want stem controls. And I know every DJ that I know right now is using stems. So they're not going to use the AZ. Do you think for a second that Mojax or any of these other DJs are going to go to a club and use the AZ? I don't know. It's really heavy, man. It's heavy to haul around for a mobile gig. It's not giving you any more features than anything else out there. And I know Pioneer is going to be like, oh, man, don't say shit like that. It's an expensive unit. We spent a lot of years developing this unit. Listen, I know that the United States headquarters is based in, California. But they're not the people designing the thing. The people designing all these units are in the Far East. They're in Japan. They may be making the stuff out of China, and that's just not their platforms where musically is not what we listen to here in the United States. So I do think there's a cultural barrier right there. And until Pioneer gets on the gravy train, I believe that Denon and In Music is catching up little by little. I think people are coming onto it. And how long are they going to be able to hold control? Is AlphaTheta done? I mean, they make great products. Don't get me wrong. I like the feel of Pioneer stuff better. I have more fun playing on Rain stuff because they just do more stuff. The Denon stuff just does more stuff. But how long? I just like the feel of Pioneer stuff. It's just I don't know if the knobs are chunkier or there's just something, just a better feel, or maybe I'm just used to it. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, is that worth it? Does anybody in the crowd really care? Does anybody, I know people are like, well, your cred status, your street cred. At the end of the day, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I know this is a little bit of a rant, I'm just disgusted that they could put out a piece of plastic for $3,200. And I know a lot of that cost goes into research and development. And, I just, to have a processor that's no better than probably your cell phone has inside of it. And like, I'm curious what Denon is going to come back with, or In Music is going to come back with. And this is no rag on Pioneer. Because I have a lot of friends that work for Pioneer on the inside. That I have a lot of friends that go to trade shows, and I have a lot of friends that I still use the product. So it's not that. I'm just saying, when does it come to a heat where everyone's kind of looking at each other and everyone's saying, why are we still using this stuff? Why are we? Now, there's a couple of things I love about Pioneer. I think the screens on this new unit are incredible. I think there is some great stuff on it. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not totally bashing it. The jog wheels still on Pioneer units still feel better to me than the Denon units or the In Music, But if you're not a scratch DJ, or that's not really that big of a thing, is that really a huge selling point right now? Jog wheels are more of a selling point to me than half of the stuff that's on there, like how they feel. So they were right on when it comes to jog wheels, and they've always been. They were an innovator in it, and they've had them for a long time. And Pioneer is this is not a rag on Pioneer. I'm just saying that, have we plateaued as a DJ service? Is Pioneer culturally, are they just killing the market for us open format DJs? Are we always going to have to use software? Is the days of standalone systems over? Are we still bringing our computers to the club? Are we still bringing an iPad or a phone or some way to hook it up? Because that was also a selling point with this. It's record box enabled. It's Serato enabled. Then why don't we use a $300 controller then? Do you know what I'm saying? Because it looks cool. Does anybody care about what, I've seen the Layback Luke is playing on that, the little thing he throws in his backpack. Throws it on there, plays on his cell phone, and plays festivals with that. Does anybody think that Laidback Luke is not cool? That he's not a good DJ? He's incredible. There's DJs, I don't know. This is just a rant. And I just want to say that I think we need to think about where AlphaTheta is going, where the DJ industry in general is going. I was so hyped up on this XDJ-AZ. I don't have one. I wish Pioneer would have gave me one. I wish I could say better things about it, but I don't have one. I don't know. All I know is what I saw as far as the reviews out there. There's been some incredible reviews out there, and some awesome stuff. But don't forget, these people essentially are getting paid for the reviews. And you're like, no, they're not. And I'm like, yes, they are. They're getting paid for those reviews. Okay? They're not. I don't know how honest those reviews are, because they have to tread lightly. They have to tread lightly, because they can't say anything negative, or nothing too negative, because they want to be able to get the product sent to them. Like, I've done reviews for Denon DJ in the past, and they don't tell me anything. They want to say, they're like, give me your honest opinion. We don't care. I don't know if Pioneer's like that. They don't send a lot of units out, and it's probably for that reason. Like, a guy like me with a small YouTube channel, they don't send me anything. They could care less. But I know when I said something in a previous video about this XDJ-AZ coming up, I did get a phone call from them. So they cared when I said something early, but they didn't care to say, hey, you want to give it a test drive? They didn't care, because my channel's too small. They don't give a shit. And, that's just the nature of the market, because they're the big kid on the block. It's almost like they're bullies. I don't want to say that, because that's going a little too far, because I did speak to someone from Pioneer, and they were sweet. They were really nice. They didn't tell me to take down my video. They were asking where I got the information for my video, but they didn't say take it down. Well, I shouldn't say that. They did ask me. They said it'd be cool if I took it down, and I said, well, send me out a unit and I'll take it down. And they started kind of laughing. They pretty much laughed at me. And so they did laugh at me. And so I didn't take it down. I said, why should I? And, this is news. Like, there's news every aspect of life, there's news, there's breaking news, there's things like that, every aspect of life. I don't have an NDA. And that leads me back to the other YouTubers. They do have NDAs. They couldn't say anything until a certain date. And they do have to tread lightly when it comes to this because they want to be sent product. Because without those products, they can't grow their YouTube channel. They can't get the clicks. They can't get people like you guys are out there watching Mojax, and you're watching Cleveland Terry, and you're watching all these guys, Nick Spinelli, who are incredible reviewers, and they have great production. DJ Carlos, they incredible production. But at the end of the day, like, they're getting the product from Pioneer directly. They're getting the product from Pioneer directly, and they don't want to ruin that relationship. So it's a very, there's high production value. There's a lot, there's some politics. There's some politics at stake. And I understand that, and I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't play politics. If they send me out a unit and they send me an NDA, I'm going to be like, oh, you have to be honest. I'm going to say what's great about the unit, but I'm also going to say that there could be some improvements, like the streaming and like stem control. That's huge right now for a lot of DJs, Maybe not your headlining DJs that are playing festivals with CDJ 3000s and an A9 mixer, but those guys also aren't going to be using this unit either. So this unit has to be for mobile DJs or for clubs or bars. But clubs or bars are probably not going to. I've never once in my life went to a club or a bar and they had a standalone unit in there. Never, ever. And I play all over the country every night. I play 5 days a week. I have a gig in 3 hours, and I've never seen anything. I've never seen a standalone unit in there. So I'm just trying to, who's this thing for? Who is it for? Anyhow, that's my rant. I hope you guys tune in again on the next one. I hope I didn't say anything to offend anybody. I love the guys from Pioneer. I love the guys from In Music. I love the guys from DJ. I love Serato. I love it all. I love you guys. But I have to get that shit off my chest. Anyhow, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.